Hello guys and welcome back to Power and Revolution 2020 edition. In the last episode, this game really decided to fuck us in all the worst possible ways. First, I finally got to join NATO, which was such a good thing because I had taken over Liechtenstein, I guess it's called, and turned it into another delicious piece of Middle Eastern rubble in the center of Europe. This allowed me to apply for NATO. Applying for NATO went successfully. Everyone voted yes. They all wanted me in NATO. And then, due to some bug or weird game design, I was kicked automatically. This got rid of all of my alliances I had with any and every member of NATO, which made up most of my alliances. I rejoined, and the same thing happened again. So there's some sort of weirdness there. I forced back any alliance that I actually remembered existed, and then right when I thought I had gotten past the worst of it, all the diplomatic fuckery changed so many relations in the world, I guess, that Turkey and Egypt went to war. Egypt just declared war on Turkey, which I feel like is definitely from all that weird diplomacy crap that happened, because Turkey was the country whose diplomacy I had to mess around with the most, because they were the first one that I noticed that actually dropped our alliance together and started hating me, completely hating me, just because of the whole NATO fuckery, buggy or bad game design bullshit. So now there's a war on my doorstep with one of my war targets. This can go a couple ways. Number one, maybe Turkey wins. Maybe they take over Egypt, maybe they just ask for war reparations. If they take anything here, they may actually block my entrance into Africa. Part of my expansionist plans involved moving into Africa, especially Egypt, because control over the Suez Canal would be nice, and Egypt is Africa's strongest nation, if we're being honest here. Take them out and the rest of Africa is easy pickings. Another way that this could go is Egypt could win, take over Turkey, one of my biggest allies, dead. Now, I don't find it very likely that that'll happen. Eventually, Turkey will sue against Egypt in the UN. More than likely it will go through and allies of Turkey will come to defend Turkey. Therefore, I really doubt Egypt could win. Eventually the war would just end when everyone got bored of fighting. The third way this could go is a white peace where just the fighting stops in the middle of it because they just get tired of fighting. That's how a lot of wars go in this game. However, I'm not so sure about that, and I'm not so sure I want to leave it up to fate whether or not I lose an ally, whether or not I lose my entrance into Africa, my direct land entrance, or whether or not I get lucky and nothing ends up happening negatively whatsoever, just some destruction on either side, and everything goes back to the way it was. This is, again, all because of this game's stupid fuckery, so I feel like I need to get directly involved here. Therefore, and I've never been so unsure about anything I have done in this game in my entire life, I am going to invade Egypt. But I'm going to make it quick because, again, I don't want this war to drag out any longer than it has to. I have been preparing for an invasion of Egypt for years. I have increased my cyber analysts from like 100 to 6,000. I have the strength to militarily cyber attack, you see? I have the attack power. This took a lot of work and a lot of money. I'm going to go ahead and confirm this because we are going to do this. Now, one reason why I'm so unsure about this, even though I planned on doing it eventually, is, well, because there's no easy way to go about this, for one. I can either cyber attack, try to perfectly time commandos, which is difficult, or I can run units through this province, this region, into the, I guess, capital region it's called? Or no, it's this one. Yeah, I guess the capital region, into Cairo, which would honestly take about the same amount of time. In fact, I think my infantry would move faster than my commandos, so they'd probably get there first. And I wouldn't really have to worry because the distance from the border is actually not that bad. Can I just get like a distance estimate? No? What if I used soldiers? So from here to here is 50 miles, 52 miles. Over here, so it's about 200, less than 200 miles, about 200 miles. I've already seen in my China playthrough that my infantry can make that time, no problem. If I send just enough, we can arrive literally when the cyber attack's starting, before any hostilities actually begin, and then take Cairo without any resistance. That is generally the plan that I was planning on using. However, for this very unique situation, I think I'm going to default to the commandos instead, only because I would like to minimize my losses here, and whereas I don't plan to lose much of any infantry and commandos are actually worth a hell of a lot more, they have a bunch of activity buzzing around, and I just don't want to have to deal with any drones or micromanaging my air right now, given that one way or another, I could probably take Cairo here in the next 2 weeks no matter which plan I go with. Actually, either plan I go with might take exactly 2 weeks, given the amount of time it takes to do a cyber attack, or maybe even a week now that I think about it. Either way, it'll go pretty quickly. Another reason why I am hesitant about this is because whereas their economy is honestly doing fine, their growth is fine, their unemployment's fine, this isn't going to be another Syria that I'm taking over and ruining my country with. That being said, their GDP is almost equivalent to mine. That is a lot of GDP. That's a lot of economy to try to integrate all at once. Their population is almost 3 times as large as mine. After I've taken over Lebanon, after I've taken over Syria, after I've taken over 2 small European city countries. So that's a lot of stuff to try to integrate. And I don't know if it's their population or their industry, their economy, but their national deficit is high. It could just be their budget. But when we take them over, we may encounter even bigger problems with a national deficit and have to actually put real effort into fighting it in order to make sure we go back to getting out of debt rather than getting back into it. Because Egypt is not a self-sufficient country in this, and we are likely to absorb some of that burden. Of course, hopefully, with no further shenanigans, I can get a lot of time to build back up, just like we did with Syria. Of course, I never finished rebuilding Syria enough, and it certainly got complicated by the fact that the game deleted every single city in the locations owned by Kurdistan initially. But with that, we have our current cyber attack set to go. I will simply have to wait to enact my plans. One thing I want to show you before we skip ahead, though, is that I have finally figured out this weird-ass energy glitch, I guess you could call it, where my energy is going up way too much. It is indeed the offshore wind turbines, windmills, whatever you call these. I don't know if the onshore wind ones still do it, but I remember the onshore wind ones in 2019 edition gave you way more than it said it would. I guess the offshore wind may have as well, and still does, because we've built 7, and ignoring this is false. It has given us way more power than all the solars combined have, and I built 17 of these. Which means, quite frankly, for efficiency's sakes, I'm probably just going to get rid of all of the solar plants, because they cost me money, they add to the economy in ways that I don't want them to, whereas I could keep it far more controlled by using offshore wind. I also don't like how the solar is taking up so much space. I'd like to get this space back. Again, the hydro is fine, not the biomass, I'm deconstructing that. Geothermal's fine, it's off map, so it doesn't really get in the way much. Well, at all. I could easily not know that it's there. I just like to save space. I guess that's really the main thing. So I am going to go ahead right now. I'm just going to get this over with right now, and I'm going to dismantle every solar plant I built since the beginning of the game. It was a nice and fine experiment, but so long as the game's wind production is still so broken that using anything else is just stupid, I'm going to keep using it. Now, I don't really have any land which I can use for onshore wind that I know of. I mean, onshore wind may not be broken in the same way offshore wind is. I'm not sure about that. That would take some experimentation. And it would probably wait until I have a better place to put them down. Maybe Egypt has something? On the coast, perhaps? Oh, yes. Yes, they do. Egypt does have some good space on the coast for some onshore wind. Well, that's when we'll experiment. But for now, I am going to place one more offshore wind down, even though that's kind of retarded. I'm going to place one more down just to make up for everything that I'm deconstructing right now. Not that I need to, because I already have so much excess production anyway. I'm trying to build a wall around the borders of my good offshore wind production, because this whole naval space is just going to be offshore wind production. I remember in the Brazil playthrough, when I was making onshore wind, I got questioned by so many viewers for making a bunch of onshore wind down here. And everyone was telling me, no, do hydro. In real life, they do hydro. It's like, well, you see, in the game, there's no point to do hydro because onshore and offshore wind are glitched and so much better as a result. Same thing with nuclear. So what if I have 3G nuclear? That's not going to help me in any way. A wind turbine plant is so much cheaper, it doesn't require any resources, and it makes literally the same amount of energy per turbine as an entire 3G nuclear plant for a fraction of the price. I just wanted to get that little exposition, that little rant, if you can call it that, out of the way, because so many, still to this day, tell me what to do with my energy, but they don't know how bugged the turbines are and how valuable they are and how unvaluable everything else in the energy sector seems to be. Alright, not a lot of time has passed in game, but I just wanted to give some updates. I've been being spammed by messages because we took over that last small European city. I've gotten messages that I have not enough electricity, followed by messages that I have too much electricity. I've gotten messages that my infrastructure is terrible, followed by messages that my infrastructure is great. I've gotten messages that every single part of the school system is running out of space. I've gotten messages that everything is falling apart and that everything is doing great. So I just thought I'd let you know that, even though I cut it out. Just so you know what kind of a headache this game is to play in case you're looking at playing it yourself. If you can't tell, I'm actually really fed up with this playthrough so far at this point, just because of how buggy and how much crap I've had to deal with. In addition, Egypt has officially declared war on Turkey, and Turkey has called on the UN to issue an ultimatum, just like I expected. And war in Turkey, Turkey has just gone to war with Egypt. Yeah, so this is a definite hot war at this point. Egypt has actually captured this military base, which is interesting, because when the war is over, I'm not quite sure who this base is going to go to, me or Turkey. Well, I hope it just goes back to Turkey. Oh yeah, and the students are throwing a demonstration because, well, actually they don't have a reason. It's just because I integrated a country, and when you integrate a country, everything goes to hell. Just to give you an estimate of the conflict so far, if we take a look over here, there's been some deaths. It's not a crazy war, but for just a few days, I guess this is pretty crazy. Think about it. This is adding up to almost all the losses in the Armenia versus Azerbaijan war, which went for a few months. This has been going for a few days. Egypt has lost 2,105 total combatants. Turkey has lost 1,503. Most of Egypt's loss is actually just infantry, though. And infantry is pretty expendable. We can see they have a lot more infantry than Turkey, and their infantry is actually higher quality. I did not expect that. Both sides have lost many aircraft. Egypt's total amount is definitely higher. The good news is when we take Egypt, everything they have remaining, we will acquire. We will acquire everything they have remaining, including all these tanks, and boy, do they have a lot of fucking tanks. Holy shit. Most of it we will probably just want to dismantle because it's crap. We can get much better stuff if we actually build up. And as soon as I fix the finances, I mean, I'll definitely do that. They also seem to have a tier 4 cruiser. That's weird. So far, Egypt's entire helicopter fleet has been shot out of the sky, except for 2 helicopters. Turkey is also losing a similarly high amount, as well as some drones. The only tank losses so far are on Turkey's side, but this is, again, not sustainable losses. I know I've said that before about another... what the hell? What was that? Turkey-Israeli-Kurdish Renaissance. But the Israeli-Kurdish Renaissance doesn't exist anymore. Why is that active? I literally got rid of them. I got rid of them so well that the cities in these provinces fucking vanished. You can even see it was supposed to be like right here, and it's gone. I do have my commandos en route. Hopefully I've timed them well. Alright, looks like our military cyber attack has just gone through, and my commandos are more than halfway there. So yeah, this was timed pretty well. Do take into account commandos move slower than like every other unit in the entire game. If I had infantry, I could have been over there by now, and in terms of the cyber attack, if I had just left the border, I'd probably be around here already. So one way or another, this would have gone pretty well. Now that the cyber attack is underway, all of their units are done moving. All this infantry, all these tanks, everything that's over here. Looks like Turkey did reclaim this naval port of theirs. That's good. And they are preying on the now defenseless, well, not defenseless because they're firing back, but immobile Egyptian troops and equipment, which is, I guess, good. I mean, not really, because anything that lives we get, so theoretically we want as much to live as possible. Our helicopters are entering the city. I sent in like 4 different commando fleets here. Looks like they are, when they fly over these units, they are getting into some combat. Yep. I don't see that we are losing a lot. It looks like we're just doing damage. I hope that is actually the case. The conflict has begun. Okay, no, we are losing. We've already lost 10 commandos by the looks of it. Yeah. Although, it looks like we lost 20, but it says we lost 10. So we are losing commandos just entering the city, which is unfortunate, but hopefully not an issue.
Our agent's assessment.
Yes. Dismantle whatever the hell you're doing. I have not looked at terrorists yet. We only have the Israeli Patriotic Front remaining. What is happening? A space program that will never get accepted to an Egyptian Navy fleet? I don't give a shit. Nothing to report with Turkey. Well, that's good. Attack by Egypt.
Violently attacked our air force. Just like that and for no reason. It's not on. It's not okay.
I don't know what you said at the end there, but I can tell you it's not for no reason. We're actually invading them right now. What have they taken against our Air Force? Oh, he means the helicopters. He means the commando helicopters. That's confusing. Indignation. Yeah, bro, I'm literally taking your capital. I wouldn't expect anything different. Alright, cool. So, our units are landing. They have a whole lot of fucking units in here, though. I certainly hope the commandos can get in here a little quicker than this, but it should be fine. Maybe I should have just gone with the infantry anyway. It probably would have made it easier. It should be fine. Our helicopters seem to be engaging in some battle. I do not have direct control over all these units quite yet. Let's, I saw an enemy over here. Oh, no, you just died. Well, that's great. Here, attack. Attack. I want to start clearing them out if I can. Slowly but surely, anyway. Ah, stop it. Some of them are literally dropping off the map, too, which is great. Hopefully they can get back onto the map. Let's speed it up a little. I did not mean to do it like that. Oh, well. I guess I should just focus on this area down here. We have a good amount of commandos here already. We're going to lose a lot of commandos doing this, no matter what way I go about it. What? Alright, let's... Oh, shit. Some of them are running out. Let's see if we can start fighting our way in here. Are more of you guys getting stuck off the map? You are. Alright, most of our commandos so far are just dying, but we are dealing some damage. We're killing some of them, at least. They just have such a large amount of soldiers here, it's hard to actually get all of them. Can you guys knock it out of there? Okay, you can. Good. Oh, this is a good amount. I would like to have a little more. We're still fighting out here. Like, through the fucking doorway. Yeah, and then our units run up to the door to return fire. We have more landing in the rear. This is just a little grind. This probably would have been cheaper and easier had I decided to use soldiers instead. But you know what? I regret nothing. At least this way no one can yell at me for taking the easy way. I literally just making it harder for myself. Alright, so we have the siege beginning on the presidential palace. Even though this country has a military dictator and not a president. But hey, man. Words are words. Let's kill the rest of the soldiers in here just in case, so that if they do regain their ability to do things, then we don't have to actually fight them. Let's just get the rest of our units out there. Alright, cool. And there is constant shooting happening over here as our helicopters pass overhead and we shoot at each other. Not really very optimal, but hey, I did it. I did it, and it's successful. Watch out for unemployment. No you. What's it at? It's been going down for a long time. I'm really not that concerned about it. No offensive strategy, please. No, well, actually, I can't say no to the messenger, but... Offensive strategy? No. They're not even attacking us. They can't move. You're retarded. We've lost 401 commandos. Oh yeah, this is going to be way more expensive than having used soldiers. They've lost 736 men total. A mixture of Oh, they had a lot of commandos in there. That's part of why it was so difficult. Commandos and infantry. Yep. Well, that's fine. That's fine. We are now just waiting on this little timer, which is going by pretty much unopposed. And even if they did regain the ability to move now, I don't think they could stop us. Of course, when they regain, they could always try to attack the city again, but we timed this pretty well. I could have left a little earlier than I did, but I think this is timed pretty well. Russia just declared... What the fuck? Russia is helping Turkey? They're not even helping Turkey, I don't think. Wait a minute. What? Let me zoom out of this fucking city. What are you doing?
We have just taken the
I've taken the country's capital, so that's pretty much irrelevant now, but that conflict should still be active. Defending the territory of... They're protecting me? I love you, Russia. I'm definitely going to try to join the CSTO, even if it makes bad things happen again, like when I joined NATO. It should be a little better. Of course... Oh my god. Why did I just lose a ship, and why am I shooting missiles? Why do I have missile launchers active? I didn't authorize this. I did not authorize this. Yeah, I lost a ship. And they're losing other things. I didn't authorize any of this crap. I guess the AI just decided to take some initiative. Even though I told him not to do anything. That's the second time he's done that. The last time he did it, he trespassed on Turkey. He's doing it again! Oh, I hate this guy. France declares war on Egypt. Are they defending me too? France? No, they're defending Turkey. That makes sense. Wow. And someone was kidnapped in Kuwait. Weird. I don't think that actually has anything to do with me. Well, yeah, so I was right. The whole world is turning on Egypt, so it's a good thing I came in here, because if I didn't, I probably would not be able to have taken Egypt to begin with. Someone else probably would have taken it or puppeted it or something like that. But as far as we're concerned, the conflict is over. Missiles may still be flying. Yeah, their ships are firing. Oh, their ships can fire in place because they have ranged attacks. That's interesting. That's probably why our missile launchers and stuff happened. Egypt has surrendered. Alright, cool. Italy declares war on Egypt. The United Kingdom declares war on Egypt. Oh, thank fucking God that I got involved. All of NATO is going to go to war with Egypt. All of NATO. Just to defend Turkey, yeah. There's no way Egypt would have won this. And if Egypt's not winning it, then Turkey might have won it. If Turkey won it, then Turkey would literally surround me on north and west. And while they're an ally, and I don't mind it,
that the blow cannot really be described
I'd rather have the ability to move into Africa. It's time for the peace treaty. Let's integrate that bitch. Oh, this is going to be painful. You know that, right? The moment they're fully integrated, this is going to become very, very painful. There's all sorts of shit out here. Can I tell this to return to base? Return to base.
We're going to violate this country's waters. Do you...
Yes. I don't have any choices. They're already there. I'm sorry, Cyprus, but in a minute, I will be trespassing because I literally don't have a choice. Alright, so we can do that. So let's go to military and just select literally all the units we have in all of the world. It shows the Egypt troops separately. And can I unselect the satellites? No, this is not going to be that easy. Alright, so how about just bam, return to base. Bam, return to base. Does that work? Yeah. Yeah, it does. Can I not select the satellites? Can I just avoid selecting satellites? I don't think so. The AI is annoying. taking control of my military without my permission. So apparently, after integrating Egypt, my poverty level has gotten so high that the IMF has classified me as a borrowing country. I can now request loans from the IMF and the World Bank. What is my new poverty level after taking Egypt? It's barely gone up, though. It's been higher than this before. I mean, I don't mind. I'd rather being a borrowing country than a donor, quite frankly. World Bank. You're not a member of the International Monetary Fund, so you can't subscribe to the World Bank. What the fuck are you talking about? International Monetary Fund. Why am I not a member? Apply to become a member. Did I get kicked out of it? Like, did I get integrated with Egypt and Egypt wasn't a member? And then it's all like, oh, hey, well, fuck you now. I don't know. But here comes all the integration notices. We have demonstrations for staff increase in education. So these are just a bunch of fake... Yeah, this is fake. These are a bunch of fake popularity hits and protests and demonstrations just because I integrated a country. There's nothing wrong with the levels. It's just retarded. Speaking of retarded, there is a retarded amount of land bases in Egypt. So we should probably deal with this sooner rather than later. Why is there a Chinese nuclear submarine right next to the Suez Canal? That's a little concerning. So I have discovered the Y Ultra Net, some sort of improvement to Wi-Fi. Spread the transmission zones of Wi-Fi hotspots by improving the transmission of the radio waves and eliminating the parasites produced by the electromagnetic waves of other electric devices. That's cool. I will patent that because that just affects a certain industry. Look at this. Reduce staff. Reduce staff. This is all so fake. My poverty's not even much bigger than it was. What is wrong with this game? Anytime you integrate anything, anytime you do anything in this game, it's just like, hey, fuck you. You're doing terribly, even if you're not. Fucking hate it sometimes. One thing I am going to do, because I do want to test it, is I'm going to set up an onshore wind here. How long is that going to take? 3 months. No, this is dismantle. Onshore wind. It's going to take 6 months. Okay, that's quite a bit. How long does the offshore wind take? 9 months. Okay, so it shouldn't overlap too badly. I'm going to build a single onshore wind somewhere where I have good capacity, which seems to be all over this place, actually. Like, I can build right over here, even though this doesn't even look like it belongs to me. So I'm going to build this right over here as a test. We have 252, and I'm going to check up on it closer to 6 months to see how this goes. We have a lot more fossil energy now, by the way. So our pollution is probably going to go up. Actually, it's already gone up, yes. The population also produces it, not just the energy. But we have a lot more that we're going to have to start to get rid of again. I do have plenty of energy, but they relied so heavily on fossil energy, I will need to make more stuff to actually fix this. Luckily, I am building an offshore wind, which we know is glitched. I'm also building an onshore wind, which I'm going to test if it is still glitched. That's why I'm building this. This will take 6 months, so that's going to be complete in 180 days. This will take 9 months. It's going to be complete in, well, 270 from the start, 16 days have passed. There should be enough of a gap in between them for me to properly test if onshore wind is as glitched as offshore wind. Out of curiosity, is the land we just got any better for offshore wind than that which we already had, or is it still all just good? It seems to all just be good still, which is fine. I was just hoping for very good. Ah, I see. There's a Chinese nuclear submarine here because China doesn't have permission to go through the Suez Canal, so they are repeatedly ramming their fucking heads into the Suez Canal because the AI does not know how to pathfind around Africa, nor does the Suez Canal even work like it does in real life in this game. So my filing with the IMF, my application has gone through. Hopefully they accept me. Again, I thought I was in there already. Okay, so we were excluded from the International Monetary Fund at some point. They literally kicked us out at some point. Hopefully they don't do that again immediately when we join again. If they do, well, I guess I'm not surprised if NATO's going to exclude us immediately, if the World Trade Organization is going to exclude us immediately, if NATO's going to exclude us immediately. All of these things, literally after I take them, they're just going to exclude me. Well, so be it. Some Turkish troops didn't get the memo that the war was over, so now they're here incursioning on my territory. Oh, what are you doing? Don't tell me you're going to go.
Of our territory is unacceptable. I suggest you can.
I went ahead and I told Cyprus and Sudan that I was upset about their troops being on my border as well. I don't like the looks of this. Are they gonna literally end up accidentally attacking one of my cities? Because it looks like they're trying to go to a position they already had. Is that the move and attack symbol? That is the move and attack symbol. They have a target. I swear to God. I swear to God. What is this wind farm? I don't like this being here. Why are there missile launchers at a wind farm? Get out of there. Wow, I have to do a lot of looking around this country and fixing stuff up. Some of these pre-placed things are just pretty terrible. Okay, well, the Turkish troops have decided to stay still. I just wanted to make sure they weren't going to accidentally attack me. The IMF has refused me. I won 63 votes. I need a majority vote. I was 30 short. That's interesting. I don't even know why I was kicked out to begin with. So, fuck you. Alright, and with that, our budget has actually improved. Our growth is fine. Our employment has drastically improved. Holy shit, taking over Egypt was the perfect fix to everything that was wrong with my country. My population is much larger. I have half the population of the United States right now. My GDP is higher. We just accidentally became on our way to becoming a world superpower. But that is going to be it for this episode. This was very long, very full of events, despite only going over the course of a month, I guess. What the hell is this doing over here? What the fuck are you doing over here? Oh my god, I hate this game so much. I guess I'll see you guys on the next one.